In this session, we're going to look at the creation of cross-section sheets. And the objective here is to learn the procedure that we have in the Geopak Road to lay out these cross-section sheets. The sheet layout component provides you an automated tool that actually draws the cross-sections in a sheet format so that you can, at a later time, produce hard copies for construction drawings. So let's go into our MicroStation file and look at how this procedure works. First of all, we're going to access the tool from the project manager. So we're going to open up our project manager, open up the project, and we'll find the cross-section sheet tool right next to the earthwork tool in the bottom right hand corner. We're going to select this tool, and as in most cases with our project manager, we get a run box. This allows us to create different scenarios without losing previously entered information. In this case, we're just going to use untitled and say OK. Now we're going to move our project manager box out of the way, and we get this cross-section sheet composition dialog box that has a default XSSL file attached. This XSSL file stands for the cross-section sheet library, and if you want to load another one or a particular saved cross-section sheet library, you just go to File, Sheet Library, Attach. It takes us directly to the bin directory. However, we can go and navigate to any location wherever this is stored. If we have it stored in another location, we can do that. For instance, we have one here called XSSheet.cell or XSSheet.cell. We can open that up and find the XSSL cross-section sheet file. Now, other things under File, we have Sheet. We can create a new sheet in the library, delete a sheet or update a sheet. In the sheet library, we can create a new library, attach. We can save changes in the sheet library, or we can save as. In other words, if you do work for an agency such as a DOR or DOT, you can actually get their cross-section sheet library, bring it in, do some modifications to it if you want to, and save it as your own. All right. You can also load V7 input files. In previous versions of MicroStation or Geopak before version 8, we had input files that were created for this purpose of creating cross-section sheets. You can load and import those files into this tool. You can do save settings, scale cross-sections, layout sheets, would lay out these sheets in the cross-section sheet file, and exit. So first of all, we have the active cross-section sheet. It's XSSheet. We have XSDGN file. Where are the cross-sections located that you want to place in the sheet, in a sheet format? And the file that we're going to use is the file that we're in called dxs.dgn. So I'm going to go to the select button, select dxs.dgn, say open. Once we open this file, it reads that file and tells us that this is our baseline and this is our beginning and ending station. Our next is sheet DGN file. This is asking where do you want to draw the cross-section sheets. And we have a file created called XSSheet.dgn. This is just a blank file where we want to draw our cross-section sheets. We can set up a scale, horizontal and vertical scale. And we have a lower left X and Y. And what that is, you'll notice that as we go through these options, we have a thumbnail sketch down at the bottom that gives us an idea of what exactly that they are talking about or looking for in the boxes or the entry boxes to the right. In this case, the sheet placement point is this point right here. and we can put in, the default is coordinates 1000, 1000. We can do this two ways. We can actually enter an XY, or we can use the DP button in the sheet file, in this XS sheet file, to locate where we want this particular point to be, the beginning point or the origin point for our sheets. We can detach existing sheets if there are sheets there before processing, and all sheets in, we can put all of the sheets in the active model, whatever the active model is. We can put in one sheet per model where each sheet will be in its own model, or we can do one sheet per model, display all. So what that does is it puts one sheet per model and displays all of them in the active model. Then we have sheet dimension cell. So these are the sheet dimensions. Place sheet cell. This is the sheet library. If we want to make sure that this particular path is where our sheet library exists. We'll go to sheet.cell, open that up. This is the name of the cell. This is the scale. If you want to place this as a shared cell is a MicroStation term that allows us to place, rather than placing a cell multiple times in a file, we can place that cell once and then place occurrences of that cell multiple times, so that we're not taking up a lot of space in our working file. Then we have the sheet offset from cell origin, and this is an XY. And you'll see that that is that point right here. Sheet cell placement, we can place the sheet cell in an X cross-section sheet file, or we can place that sheet cell once in a reference file and it will be referenced multiple times. Then we have the search criteria. In other words, once we go in this file, what do you want me to look for? And so we're going to toggle these on. Going to zoom in to one of our cross sections so that we can define this information. And we're going to do a match. We're going to do a reset first of all. Always do a reset if you're going to identify new material. Do a reset, clear this field, toggle all of these on, do a match, select the line, accept it. Select all of our information here. Now, once we do this and we do display, then you can see that we have this information in here. We can also hit the other button, select the other elements. So we have all of our elements in the file. Now, one thing you might want to watch for, there's a common error, is that sometimes you will have certain criteria elements or certain cross-section elements in only a few of the cross-sections. You want to make sure that you go through the cross-sections and identify all of these elements. For instance, we may only have a sidewalk within a certain station range in our cross-sections. We want to find that and identify that in this field. Okay. We have a vertical range, a lower limit, upper limit. That is the range below or above the cross-section that we want to do a search, and we also have the opportunity to do a search, horizontal search. If we toggle this on, left offset, right offset, outside of the cell. The sheet orientation. Do we want a vertical stack or horizontal stack? We can do vertical or horizontal. We have the horizontal spacing, we have the vertical spacing, and the number of sheets that we want to place in a stack. Then we have the sheet stack columns. So how many rows or how many columns of cross sections do we want per sheet? We can do single, double, triple, or quadruple. The baseline offset is the offset from the left side of the cell to the 0, or where the PGL is in the cross section. That's what this value is. We have margins and spacing. Once again, we have a little toggle here, a little thumbnail sketch. We have the minimum spacing from the top. We have a minimum spacing from the bottom. We have the left clip offset and the right clip offset. In other words, there will be nothing to the left of this point and nothing to the right of this point. It's a clear area. We have a minimum spacing between the sections. We have multiple sections, and the maximum vertical size. Then we have our station labels. We have station labels. We have the plot parameters that can be set by double-clicking. In here we get the station label information. We can set this to whatever we want it to be as far as our level, color, weight, our text height, text width, our font. We can set it at a particular angle. We can even put in a format of a prefix or a suffix. And then we have a station label offset, and it shows you what that offset is. Then we have offset labels. Station labels, the offset labels, these are virtually the same type of information that you're going to put in for both of these. You can see that is the different. This is the offset information, and these are the station labels. You have elevation labels, basically the same information, with the exception that in this particular field you can add top elevations and bottom elevations. So if you want them on both bottom and top, you can actually toggle these on. We have earthwork quantity labels. So if you have created an earthwork text file, you can go find that text file within your working directory, open that up, and it will place that information on your cross-section sheets based on the way it was set up in your earthwork run. Then we have our sheet labels. We can set up multiple sheet labels. You can do the sheet name, sheet number, begin station, end station, customize it, do the DP origin, and the offset X and Y. Once this information is placed here, it can be added to this field, so you can have multiple labels. And once again, you can have a sheet number label, the beginning station, the end station, and a custom. And you can add as many labels up here as you want. Each one of these will label its particular, put the information that you've asked for on the sheets. Also, if you use digital interplot, you have the ability to set up a plot set with digital interplot. Now, once we have this information set up, what you can do is do File, Layout Sheets. Okay. What that will do is lay these sheets out in that format that you've chosen here. We want to do File, Save Settings. Anytime you make changes, always do File, Save Settings. And Layout Sheets is also available in a tab or a button to the right of the XS sheet. Okay, so let's go back through and make sure that we have all of our information set. Our sheet dimensions, sheet layout, all this information is in here correctly. We'll do vertical, spacing, our station labels, the offsets. We have our earthwork information, and let's go File, Save Settings, and we'll say Layout Sheets. Close this out. We're going to say yes, we want to save our settings, and there are our cross-section sheets. We'll do a fit. We have 25 sheets per column. We have them stacked vertically. If we go down to the first, we can go down here and look at our cross-section sheets. All of our labels are here. And we have them in a format where we can actually plot these in a roll plot format. And this concludes our session on cross-section sheets.